Rejoice, Legend of Zelda fans, as Nintendo have announced they are remaking Ocarina of Time, and I gotta say, it looks spectacular. And while that's great and all, to me, the only thing on my mind is how this opens up the possibility of Majora's Mask remake. Why does this matter? Well, if you asked a decade ago what my favorite game was, it would easily be Majora's Mask. And if you ask me today, my answer has not changed! From start to finish, Majora's Mask is the best game of all time, the GOAT! One of the reasons why I love this game so much is because of the special mechanics, the 3-day cycle, and the oh so important mask. Now these aren't just any regular masks you'd wear on Halloween to hide how chopped you are, no. Instead, these each have their own special properties like making you faster or unlocking unique interactions. We have a variety of them to go over today with a whopping 24 total masks. So sit back and relax as I recount to you every single mask's purpose, ability, and lore. So please enjoy. And before we get into it, a special thanks to the Zelda fandom wiki for the treasure trove of information, as this video would have been very difficult without them. Please like and subscribe, or else I'll get my friend to tear your skin off and make a mask out of it. That's just how it is. I'm sorry, I don't make the rules. Let's get into it. Extra, read all about it. The Postman's hat is obtained partway through the Anju and Kafei quest, which we'll go through later, but for now, let's focus on who gives you this mask. He has no name, and his only purpose is being the Postman.
I am a victim of my own success. Conquest. I don't even get a real name, only a purpose.
Throughout the 3-day cycle, this guy is always hustling and bustling. I mean, it's not very fast. My geriatric grandma can beat him in a race, but the grind is all that matters. Like most residents, he is definitely terrified of the impending doom this moon poses. But that won't stop him from doing his job. He lives his life by the schedule, moon be damned. But when Link aids him in delivering some priority mail to the mayor's wife, Madame Maroma, she gives him the day off, and he can finally leave town in peace, handing down the Postman moniker to Link by handing him his hat. Guess he's just a man now. This mask, I mean, it's more of a hat than a mask. Anyway, this gives Link the incredible ability of collecting mail. Wow, incredible stuff. But hey, the first mailbox that you check gives you a hot piece, so can't complain about that. Just don't ask why people are mailing around severed hearts. Must be that organ trafficking I've heard about. It's like how the saying goes, donate 1 heart and you're a hero. Donate 4 and suddenly everyone's a critic. Despite it making me feel like a gimp whenever I put it on, this mask was actually conceived for the purpose of being used as a torture device by keeping the wearer awake indefinitely, hence the name. You can obtain it by preventing an elderly man from being robbed. You can later buy this mask at the curiosity shop for a whopping 500 rupees? Jeez, this guy is ripping us off. Holy hell. Even the happy mask salesman remarks that it looks expensive. I personally wouldn't be selling this to a kid, but I guess any business is good business. Link can use this mask to stay up all night and listen to Andrew's grandmother. Oh my god, she is creepy as hell. Are we sure she's not a skinwalker? Anyway, the grandma has 2 tales for us. One about the Carnival of Time, basically a New Year's celebration in honor of the 4 giants, aka the 4 bosses that Link faces, since they've been corrupted by Majora. The other story elaborates on the giants and how they're gods that protect the land. And after splitting up to fulfill their duties, an imp boy who felt betrayed by this brings terror and malice to Termina until the giants stop his wrath and send him away. This parallels the ending of the game where the giants help us stop a Majora-influenced Skull Kid by holding up the moon for us. Upon listening to these stories and completing a mini quiz by the grandma, Link will receive a heart piece for each one, which honestly, for 500 rupees, a couple of heart pieces is the least this game could give us. Kids, have you ever aspired to be a suicide bomber? No? Well, too bad, cause now's your chance with this walking bomb of a mask. Remember that old lady that got us scammed with the all-night mask? Well, if you saved her from being robbed, she gives you this very blast mask. Not sure if an old lady should be carrying around weapons of mass destruction, but hey, guess that's her Second Amendment right. The blast mask is pretty straightforward. When put on, Link turns into a walking kamikaze, blowing up at the press of a button, replacing the need to use bombs, but at the cost of hurting Link with every explosion. Talk about things blowing up in your face. Look at this cute little guy. How could you ever hurt a thing like that? And apparently, monsters would agree with you, as when put on, this mask allows you to be as plain as stone, meaning you won't be attacked by most mobs, with some exceptions as seen. Now, you can get this mask off this guy here. Meet Gero, an injured soldier so unassuming and plain, he has literally become invisible. So because he's like me in high school as girls, Link has to use the lens of truth to even see him. Or is that for prom, huh? After healing him with a red or blue potion, he gratefully hands us a stone mask. Fun fact, In the Majora's Mask DLC for Hyrule Warriors, Fi is able to wear the stone mask as one of her costumes. I don't know what the dev team is trying to say about her, but no Fi slander will be tolerated in this household. Also, she looks kinda cool with it on. Oh shit. To be frank, I'm a tad repulsed by this mask, the same way the Great Fairies both repulse and strangely attract me. Just saying, it was some poor soul's lesbian awakening. Not only does it attract confused folk, it also attracts stray fairies that Link can find and return to their great fairy counterparts for miscellaneous goods. If for whatever reason you really need to get this mask, let's be honest, we all got it by accident. Since it's fairly simple to get it, all you need to do is find the stray fairy in Clocktown and return it to the great fairy there. She'll gift you the flayed remains of her sisterin. For anyone wondering what flayed means, the Merriam-Webster dictionary refers to it as to strip off the skin or surface of skin. So, hey, who said I wasn't an educational channel, huh? Not only is this the first mask in the game flat out, it is also the first transformation mask. Majora's Mask only has 4 of these, well, 5 if you include the giant mask, but that's later on. Each of these have the special property of allowing Link to become a different race when these are adorned. Each of these masks has a soul lingering inside that is used to create them. While we get this mask after Link is transformed into a Deku Scrub by Skull Kid, he is reverted back to normal with a Song of Healing. The mask drops onto the ground, and it's also heavily implied that the soul residing inside the mask, allowing this transformation, is the Deku Butler's son, as not only does he remark how we remind him of his deceased son after we erase him, just like how they used to together, we also see him grieving his son at a tree close to the start of the game, which seems to be a corpse of his son. Whew, far out, that's rough, buddy. But hey, at least his dead son gives us sick powers, as once transformed into Deku, Link is now able to skip on water, shoot bubbles as ops, and we can use flowers to launch ourselves into the air and glide around. On top of that, Link's Ocarina has transformed into the cutesy Deku Pipes, which are reminiscent of a sousaphone, aka a marching tube, which I think is pretty damn cool. Later in the game, we get to see this transformation statue with the Elegy of Emptiness. And low-key, I would love to have this as a figure IRL. It's so creepy, but damn is it cool. The transformation Link undertakes to turn into this Deku is apparently really psychologically painful, and honestly, a bit scary. This used to really freak me out as a kid. But look at this guy, this little Deku Scrub is such a cute fella. Just a shame it cost the soul of a dead kid. What is this, FNAF? Heyo! It's funny, I'm always being called a Deku face. Too bad I'm a human. Oh no! Look, you tried delivering jokes with Deku Mask. They all end up winning. What? Not named after Michael Keaton. No, instead these are named after the in-game fantastical creature, the Keaton, which resemble both the mythical yokai Ninetales and the electric rodent Pikachu. This mask is predominantly worn by this kid, Kafei, in order to keep his identity secret. Now, why would he want to keep that a secret? We'll find out later for the couple's mask part of this video. But for now, Link can get this mask in Kafei's hideout off the man from the curiosity shop. Using this Keaton mask, Link can summon the elusive creature by cutting down a ring of moving bushes. With a mystical Keaton coming out that will question Link about some random bullcrap in the game, whatever, it's random every time. If you use all your brain power and get it right, you get a hot piece and a lifelong friend. Just kidding. The Keaton instantly switches up on you, switching up faster than your so-called day one after receiving the first paycheck. Still waiting on that 15 bucks my bro owes me. I'd settle for a hot container howl, at least a blue rupee, man. Now the first thing you may notice outside of its avian features would be its bizarre name, which appears to be a reference to one of Grimm's fairy tales. Oh boy, this should be fun. The tale, labeled Town Musicians of Bremen, follows a donkey, dog, cat, and rooster who, after a lifetime of disrespect from their owner, run off and make their way to Bremen to become musicians, but they never actually make it there. Instead, they find some robbers inside an abandoned cottage, so they scare them off and move in there, living happily ever after. Honestly, for a story from the Brother Grimms, that could have been a whole lot darker. But the part with animals aspiring to become musicians wasn't lost with this mask, since you obtain it by hearing out the confession of a musician who robbed it from a dog that led a troop of animals. Sound familiar? With the Bremen Mask equipped, Link takes out his ocarina and marches forward, playing a melody that makes animals like chicks follow suit behind them, which turns them into fully grown cuckoos. How? It even works for the Akana warriors, as if you played it during their fight. Like any good soldier with a routine drilled into their psyche, they start marching. The mask's main purpose though lies in a small corner in Romani Ranch, as inside the cuckoo shack sits Grog. Grog? Really? His name is Grog? Did his parents hate him before he was even born? What a tough life he must have lived. But not even the cruelty of the world stopped this man's kind heart from raising his own cuckoo chicks. But was the impending doom of the moon. He grieves how he won't even be able to see them grow up. Luckily, donning the mask, we're able to fulfill his request, allowing him to watch his chicks grow up. And as it sinks, Grog hands us our next item on the list, the ever so swift. When I was younger, I used to be the slowest kid in class, by a fair bit, and by proxy, the least popular, as back then, the only thing that determined how girls thought about you was your speed. Luckily, with this mask, Link doesn't have that issue. He can impress Malon all he wants since it increases his speed by a fair amount. You can also jump further too, not sure if girls care about that aspect though. If it does though, hit me up Cremia, I'll jump over the Grand Canyon for you. Now, from the previous segment, we know we can get this mask from Grog, so I'll make this part brief. Did you know, the bunny hood also shows up in the Smash Bros. Franchise, starting with Brawl. The effect is the same as in Majora's Mask, but way more swift. That's all for this one. Skull Kid for Smash. Don't wear this mask around a French guy, since this was made to resemble Don Gero, conductor of the Frog Choir. You're given the mask by a fat-ass Goron as a thanks after you give him the least appetizing sirloin of all time. Whatever gets your rocks off, dude. This amphibian mask lets you speak to all the frogs throughout Termina. You can spread the news far and wide that the illustrious Frog Choir is returning, and after reuniting the 5 frogs, you're given a hot piece. Not nearly as important as being able to talk to frogs, of course. That should be the main takeaway here. I always get the feeling they're plotting something. Something malicious. Who do they think they are? Holy chopped! When did they add my mother-in-law to this game? Aside from looking like an inbred redneck from Texas. No hate to any of my fans from Texas. Unless you're inbred, of course. This mask lets you sniff out magic mushrooms that can be made into blue potions by Kotake. You're given this mask by the Deku Butler after you race with him, and it turns out this mask used to be his dead son's. Looking at it, no wonder he got slimed out. Whoever murked him was doing the kingdom a favor, so we wouldn't have to look at that ugly mug anymore. I guess the butler is giving it to us, so he wouldn't have to look at it anymore either. Now, if you remember the last 5 masks I talked about, including this one, then you realize they are the mask of a fox, falcon, rabbit, frog, and pig. Remind you of anything? If you don't, then I'll give you a hint. Glenn Powell. Yeah, this is none other than a reference to Anyone But You, starring him and Sydney Sweeney. But no, really, it's referring to Star Fox, who is the second layer of mask in the inventory consisting of these guys from the games. Ain't that neat? The second transformation mask of the game, this one containing the soul of Darmani III, whose spirit is put to rest by Link after his untimely demise during a harsh blizzard caused by Big Goron. Apt name, cause just look at this guy. To even help Darmani in the first place, we have to use the lens of truth to see his ghostly form and follow him to his grave and usher him off with the Song of Healing. With the power of being able to turn into a Goron, it opens up a brand new world for Link, as Gorons have the ability to roll at top speeds. You wouldn't have guessed it by just looking at these guys, but they even hold races for it. Furthermore, they have incredible strength, which allows them to smash boulders with their fists, and even carry powder kegs. You can use those to blow up even bigger boulders that our fists aren't any match for. Wearing this lets you hear your heartbeat to the beat of the drum, as our humble Ocarina turns into some huge Goron drums. And I promise you, that's not a euphemism. And our Elegy of Emptiness statue is sick as hell. Scary, but sick. Such a sick transformation. Fortunately, thank the lords, the Romani mask doesn't make you Romanian. In reality, it's named after Romani Ranch, since the caretaker of it, Cremia, rewards you with this mask after you're able to defend her shipment of milk from the dastardly Gorman brothers. For whatever reason, this mask signifies you're an adult, allowing you to have a cow of a time at the milk bar, an establishment you were previously by. Perfect for households that suffer from domestic violence or friend groups with a rage baiter. Jeez, one of those is way worse than the other. What am I talking about? Anyway, this mask has the ability to calm down any angry person nearby. Why? I don't know, man. I don't get paid enough for this. In fact, I don't get paid anything. If I saw my homeboy wearing this mask after rage baiting me, it definitely wouldn't calm me down, but to each their own. The happy mask salesman attributes its calming quality to the fact that it is filled with the feelings of tenderness left behind in the back of one's heart. What is that voice I'm doing? To gain this, you'll have to go over to the Zora band, the Indiegogo's manager, Toto, and play him the fire Ballad of the Windfish. Gorman will be so moved that he gives you this mask. Remember the dastardly Gorman brothers I mentioned earlier? Well, in their presence, this mask calms their agitated selves down to a reasonable level. You can also get a bottle from using this in the 3DS version by doing some BS with mystery milk. I wouldn't trust that if I were you, Link.
Also, why the hell is Zont wearing this in Hyrule Warriors? That is not tough, twin. This totally not creepy mask of Kafei was crafted by his mother, Madame Aroma. Been a while since we talked about her, huh? Assuming that Link is a professional investigator, she hands him this mask in hopes that Link can track down and find her son. As going around Clocktown with his mask equipped will have the residents give information to Kafei. Some people like Angie's mother would freak out and curse Link, telling him, "Don't speak to me while wearing such an unpleasant mask." However, speaking to Angie herself will spark her aid in searching for Kafei, as she's actually his fiancée. And before you freak out that this grown woman is betrothed to a kid, Kafei was actually cursed by Majora to be so youthful, hence why he's gone into hiding, as he's ashamed to show his loved ones his now cursed form. If you continue this quest in an attempt to reunite the star-crossed lovers, you'll have to hunt down the Sun Mask that was stolen by that thief from earlier. Once we get it back, Kafei can use his Sun Mask and combine it with Angie's Moon Mask as a symbol of their eternal love in order to create the lovely a representation of Kafei and Andrew's devotion to one another. This mask symbolizes their matrimony and the end of their quest, as you have finally reunited the lovers. So as a witness of their marriage, we get this mask which lets us get a hot piece. Really, this whole quest is so beautiful and tragic, even more so when we see the effects of this mask. Wearing it in front of the mayor, Kafei's father, makes him realize the beauty of family and allows the town people to evacuate, something he was against earlier since he was in denial about the moon. Another aspect of this mask is once you have it in your inventory, it will trigger a special post-game cutscene of the wedding between the two lovebirds, with Kafei back to normal now that Majora is no longer in the mix. It's so peak! It's enough to make a grown man cry. Any Zelda fan should be able to recognize the symbol on this mask, as it bears the Sheikah eye mark. Even if they are absent from this game, the legacy in Zelda history continues here, as the Mask of Truth allows you to speak with the Gossip Stones. They don't do much other than give a couple hints.
You can use the mask to rig dog races, so
here's your gambling. You can only get the mask from this cursed rich man, who is promised great riches inside his house, but upon going in was cursed, turning into that. Scammer gets scammed. Link defeats all the golden sculptures inside, returning the man back to his normal self, and we get this mask as a thanks. Not too bad of a reward, but I'd really prefer all the riches he was promised. Fish! This mask lets Link transform into a Zora. The soul residing in this mask is the guitarist of the aforementioned Inagogos, Mikao. We find him washed up on the shore after he had a fatal encounter with the Garuda pirates, where he attempted to retrieve the Zora eggs they had stolen. We send him off with a Song of Healing, and now we have the awesome powers of being able to swim extra fast in the ocean, dolphin jump out of the water, create a barrier, and we can even use our fins as boomerangs. We carry Mikao's signature guitar over with us too, as our Ocarina is now the sick Guitar of Waves. Did you know, to promote this game's release, they made a real version of this guitar as a giveaway for one lucky kid? So badass, I'm so jealous.
Also, here's his statue. Just wanted to point it out because it looks sick.
This mask is given to you by Kamaro after you play the Song of Healing to heal his soul. Inside the mask is his musical talent, now entrusted to us to spread the joy of his dances around the world. Whenever Link has this equipped, he can start breaking it down. Ooh, kill him, white boy, ooh. If you start busting your shit in front of the Rosa sisters, they will see that you are the pinnacle of dance and give you a hot piece. Oh, and look, as if the mask's appearance wasn't creepy enough as is when equipped, it fully covers Link's face like he's Slender Man. Over in Hyrule Warriors, we have Him wearing it as well, and that creepy mofo pulls it off perfectly. Ew, just look at him. Extra creepy, 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 creepy. You gotta lift a whole ass curse to get this mask. The curse in question is from Pamela's father, as he's just this weird Gibdo thing. But once we lift it with a Song of Healing, him and his daughter are very grateful, and gives us this beautiful Gibdo Mask. And similar to the Stone Mask, it makes it so that Redeads and Gibdos won't attack us, even allowing us to speak with them, which is required to progress in the game. This only works for Gibdos, however, as attempting to speak to Redeads just causes them to start dancing, which is arguably way better. This mask actually has two separate designs depending if you're either on N64 or 3DS, one version depicting the regular Garo grunt, while the other is made to represent the Garo Master. They both serve the same purpose, however, of allowing Link entry into Ikana Valley, Land of the Dead. It also lets him encounter the Garo ninjas. How spooky! You can get this mask from the dastardly Gorman brothers if you beat them in a race. Not sure why they have that mask, but we'll take it regardless.
It also makes Red Dead's dance, so automatic S tier.
After awakening and defeating the massive Captain Kita, he will recognize our strength and show us the path to the Captain's hat. With it, all Style Children will bow before our might, believing us to be none other than Kita himself. This hat lets us unlock not only 2 heart pieces and an empty bottle, but also a whole song, the Song of Storms, the same one from Ocarina of Time that ruined that one guy's life. And once again, it makes Red Dead's dance. It also unlocks a special cutscene against Iguazuikana. Also, just pointing out, this mask is tough as hell! Look at Wizard rocking in Hyrule Warriors, straight fire! The last regular mask in the game, and you best believe it's special. After defeating the second Igor in the Stone Tower Temple, equipping this mask gives you the incredible and almighty power of doing nothing! That is, unless you're inside the Twin Mode's boss chamber, in which case, it's time to rumble! As once you put this mask on, you grow to the size of, well, a giant, letting you rumble and tumble with the Twin Mode, and showing that snake centipede boss who's boss. A real left-right goodnight from us. It's a pretty sick mask, design and function. It's just a shame you can only wear it for this boss fight. A massive Link running around Terminal would be funny as hell. Obviously, we would break the whole game, but screw it! This mask is late game anyway, so why not? If you're able to glitch the mask on inside Clock Tower and show it to Happy Mask Salesman, Peter Mark, that truly is a rare mask. So it's cool the developers even foresaw we'd be dumb enough to try that. All these masks up till now don't even compare to the final and most epic one though. The badass, super duper, other positive adjectives, say hello to... God damn! Talk about aura! The final transformation mask requires a heavy cost to obtain, as you have to trade in all previous 20 regular masks over to the Moon Children. Did I mention that this all takes place on the moon? Once a non-sketchy deal is pulled off, losing all your masks to the other children, all of who are wearing the mask of the bosses you defeated, one last kid remains, wearing Majora's mask. Noticing you don't have any mask yourself, he gives you the Fierce Deity mask, so that the two of you can play pretend.
In the French localization of the game, it's referred to as the Mask of the Demon God.
This brings up the questionable morality of the entity residing inside. He's not called the Happy Deity for a reason, and even the description of the mask states, "Could this mask, Dark Powers, be as bad as Majora?" And Dark Powers is correct. The entirety of the game has led up to this. Your face-off with Majora, or should I say mask off, as this mask makes the final boss fight piss easy. Your giant sword can literally shoot out lasers from it. I repeat, lasers! This is no surprise considering the Fierce Deity mask is said to contain the spirit of a great god residing in it, akin to how the other masks have the souls of the dead inside. However, the identity of this god remains a secret. In the manga, it's said he fought Majora in the past, which would explain why this Moonchild has the mask, but using the manga for canon is its own rabbit hole. One of the gossip stones remark that the Fierce Deity mask is a mask that contains the merits of all masks, which makes sense considering we bloody gave all of them away for it. But what it means by that is unclear, since it's not like you can just start marching as the Fierce Deity. Aonuma, when talking on the mental strain wearing this mask has on Link, comments, "The best way to think about it is that the memories of all the people of Terminate are inside of the Fierce Deity mask," which just opens up a whole nother can of worms. I fear the horrors that Link saw when he put on that mask. Ooh. The mask seemed to be a repurpose of the rumored adult Link mask. The Link is clear was them even using the same voice clips from Ocarina of Time, and we do know that adult Link was going to appear in the game due to concept art, but the extent of it is unknown. Unfortunately, the Fierce Deity doesn't have an Energy of Emptiness statue, which is probably a good thing considering how creepy it would be, but hey, maybe one day if we ever get that dang blasted remake. And also no custom instrument, which is a shame, but I think his sword would make a sick ass guitar. And that's all the time we have today. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe, and come on, you couldn't expect me to just skip the one mask this whole game was named off, did you? When I said every mask, I meant it. which even includes the other 4 boss masks we get from the main dungeons, so I'm including them in this section. For one last time, let's do this. Odowa of the Woodfall Temple, Goat of the Snowhead Temple, Georg of the Great Bay Temple, and Twinmold of the Stone Tower Temple are the 4 major bosses in the game you have to defeat in order to progress. Upon doing so, you gain their remains. These masks symbolize you freed the Trapped Titans from Majora's grasp. And up on the moon, the children wear these masks. The reason is never explained, but I assume it's because all this is a result of Skull Kid's trauma of losing his friends, the giants, so his tantrum of using Majora's mask, where he hurts his friend by transforming them into these beasts, but despite them being monsters, he still sees them as kids on the inside. But all this makes him all the more alone, as on the moon we see him all by himself. Don't take my word for this, however, it's clearly up to anyone's interpretation. Moving on to Majora's Mask once and for all. It is an old and greatly powerful mask that was once used by an ancient tribe in order to complete rituals, but its power grew too large with each subsequent usage, and was sealed away to ensure the world's safety. However, somehow Majora's Mask returned, with Skull Kid robbing it from the Happy Mask salesman. Now, it slowly corrupts him, taking over his body, making him grow more and more malicious. Originally only doing harmless pranks, he's moved on to prankless harm, with planning to destroy all of Termina by dropping the moon on it. Just a prank, bro. Once we fight him on the moon, we see more and more of what could be Majora's true form, Majora's Wrath, the entity inside the mask causing all the misfortune in Termina, and once we defeat it, all the evil from the mask is banished, seemingly weakening the mask, as in A Link Between Worlds, goated game by the way, Ravio has the mask in his possession, which raises a million questions, and is definitely just a reference, but since, spoilers for that game, Ravio is actually the low rule counterpart of Link, it's not crazy to think that he'd somehow be able to get it, even if it is a different timeline. It also shows up in Breath of the Wild, so if it's the same mask in that one, I don't know, man, that's Matt Pat. Alright, for real, that's all for today. This is probably going to be one of my longest videos, if not the longest, so if you appreciate the content, please do comment, like, and subscribe. Let me know what I should do next, since I'd love to hear from you guys. And one last big hearty thank you to the Zelda Fandom Wiki for being so gosh dang goated. Please like and subscribe, and see ya.